In this video, we are going to create some data descriptives based on a given range of data in Google Sheets. The assumption at the beginning of the video is obviously that you have some range of data that you want to get descriptive data for. In my case, the range of data that I have was created in the previous video where we talk about how can I create some random sample data that is normally distributed. The one step that I need to do before I go on is that every time I change this sheet, my range of data is going to change. So I'm going to select the entire range of data and then hit Control-C to copy it. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste it back in. So right-click, Paste Special, and choose Values. That way when I'm changing my sheet, these numbers are going to keep changing, but the data that I'm working with right now will stay the same. So what descriptive data do we want about our data? I'm going to type in some headings and then I'll walk through creating the formulas for each of these pieces of data. And in most of the cases, there's a built-in formula for you, so this really isn't going to be very painful at all. So we want to see the mean, the median, the mode, the standard deviation, the variance for the sample, the max and the min, the range. Let's do the sum. We'll also show how many there are, so the count, which would be to get our n. And then let's also do the standard error and show the skew, the kurtosis, and create our confidence level or confidence interval. So here we go. The mean, we can use a built-in formula, or built-in function, which is the average function. So we're going to type in equal to average, and then give it our range of data. The same is true of the median, so I can say equal to median, and then give it the range of data. And also the mode. Now what will be interesting here is the mode won't work because I don't have any of these numbers that are repeated at this point more than once. Standard deviation. So give it a range and choose it. When you do the standard deviation, you'll have some choices. If you do this STDEVP, that is assuming that you have a population. If you do the STDEV, that's assuming a sample. So our variance will be the same way. If I choose this varp, that's going to assume that I'm working with a population. If I do var, that's assuming I'm working with a sample. I have a max, so equal to the max of my range. I can get the min, equal to min and my range. And this is the first one that I'm not going to use a built-in function. The range is actually going to be the difference between the max and the min. So that's pretty straightforward. I can just, since I already have the max and the min, I can just subtract. The sum, we're going to go back to a built-in function. And also for the count. And now we get to start doing some formulas. So for the standard error, there isn't a built-in function. So what we're going to do is take the standard deviation, which we already have, and we're going to divide it by the square root, which we do have a function for, of the number of items. In this case, we have 18 items. So our standard error is going to be the standard deviation divided by the square root of the number of items that we have. The formula for skew is built in, so we can say equal to skew, and then give it our range of data. And we can do the same thing for kurtosis. The formula is KURT, K-U-R-T, and a range of data. And then finally, I'm going to show a confidence interval, and that would be the standard error times 1.96 if we want a 95% confidence interval. So let's assume 95% at this point. So that would be equal to my standard error times 1.96. And here are, at this point I'm done, here are some descriptives for the data that I have. If I happen to have multiple columns of data, so I'll go ahead and make another column from this data over here, copy, Control-C copy, and then come over here and paste special values. Assuming 2 columns of data, I can now just copy these descriptives and bump over one, and it'll just continue to work.